try to do what you used to do, you'll die. If you're doing 2 pills a day and then are clean for a while and try 1, you're gonna die.
What?
Dude, it's not even like you have to build that up. Like, so that's the thing. People will think like I'm not gonna do what I used to do. I'll just do 1. It's like you're doing this strong. You're in Baltimore. It's like this is it. This is it. It's it's heavy. And now the fentanyl's there, which I didn't even get to deal with. I say get to.
Missed out on it. Damn, I missed out
poor
on
guy.
it.
You know it's still out there.
Mike's like, don't give up, brother.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day.
What up, dog?
What's up?
Nah, shit. What's up with you?
Life.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it's on the way here was like a bike zooming around, like around. You know,
Like a
how they
bicycle?
no, like a crotch rocket.
Okay.
And I'm just wondering why we always got to be the ones that look twice when they're doing the crazy shit. Yeah, you always see the signs. It's like look twice for cyclists.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we're not the one that's zooming in and out of traffic when it's fucking dead stop on the highway.
Yeah.
I'm like, shouldn't you guys be pay more attention? You're the one with
You guys are the one riding down the road on a motor.
On a motor with 2 wheels.
Strapped onto a motor.
Yeah.
Yeah, but getting a bike's kind of crazy. Although, it does sound kind of nice. You ever ridden one?
No.
Nah.
I've been on a dirt bike, but I've never been on like
a motorcycle, like a
Yeah.
proper motorcycle.
Mm-hmm.
When I was a kid, I went on like my dad's, but I'd never been on one like to ride myself. It would be pretty sick to have one of those. Like, here's the thing: I don't trust other people either, right?
Right.
I'm on Instagram while I'm driving. You know,
Exactly.
And people, what Christy just talked about, he's like he's watching TikTok the whole way, everywhere, right?
Mhm.
Most people are. It's just the
somebody's
truth.
doing. If you, it's actually like alarming if you start to like if you actually put your phone down and start looking at you put your phone down and start looking at what everyone else is doing. Everyone, it's driving is secondary, and it's crazy because we're going 60 to 70 miles an hour,
and you don't realize how scary it is because you're primary in the phone. Yeah.
And you're looking around, you're like, what the fuck? Everyone's doing something other than paying attention to it.
That's why I would like a bike, a motorcycle, but only to ride like up away from people,
right?
Like Skyline Drive and shit, where there's not a lot of traffic. Even
you're
that's
like cross country shit, where you're like going and it's just you on the road.
Yeah, that sounds freeing as fuck, right? I guess that's like me romanticizing it.
Yeah,
like it's
going 295 at 4 o'clock. It's like not the best. You know what I mean? It's not as fun.
There's not like the freedom of your soul doesn't scream out when you're just sitting in traffic on a bike or surrounded by fucking people. Ritchie Highway would just be horrible.
It's just I don't get it. But what was I gonna say? What did you say before that?
Nothing. Basically, hi, hello. What's going on with you?
What's up, dog?
Oh, not much. You heard about the pilot who shut his plane off? Tried to shut his plane off on mushrooms?
He did what? He was on mushrooms, flying a plane.
Yeah, on Alaskan Airlines too, a pretty decent airline.
Well,
he said he had done mushrooms 48 hours before, which I don't know. Give me the number of the guy he got those from, because that's a lot. But he said he was going through like a mental break, and
well, that's probably what did it then.
Right.
The mushrooms.
Well, right. Then the mental break.
Yeah. Because then they say that can like
trigger something.
Trigger like schizophrenia.
Oh
all types of mental shit you
or even temporarily something. Right. You know, like that's what went on with me. Like I'm not full back to normal, you know, but it was a temporary psychosis.
Did you hear? Did you get a little skitty?
No.
Because that would be
good question. No, I didn't. That is a good question.
What that's like. Like, do people that have that come back? Because you always hear about like people like being in mental breaks and stuff like that. But like, what does that even mean? Because you don't really know. But when you're in it, do you know?
Great question.
Because I heard Jessica say like she also was having like she was like seeing stuff when she was coming down. Like she went cold turkey.
Yeah.
Off a bunch of stuff. What's up with your family, yo?
Yeah, tell me about it.
But
I never really had that. So that's a great question, though. What is a mental break like? Yeah. And I guess it would be different for everyone. It's just when your normal faculties aren't working normally, right?
Yeah.
It's like, so I guess I could only speak for myself. For me, it was like, I mean, how you saw, I mean, it was like basically like no, I don't know. Mine was mania, a lot of mania. And in mania, you feel like hyper energetic. Mm-hmm. You've got it figured the fuck out. You've got
so
it.
So you turn into Kanye West.
Exactly. Well, yes, for sure.
Right.
Yes. And then he's actually the one I stole breakthrough from rather than breakdown. He calls it a mental breakthrough.
Oh.
So I got that from him. Me and Kanye. I relate to Kanye.
You and Kanye the same person?
Well.
I just would like to know, like, when people were like, oh, I was seeing stuff and I was having, like, what do they say? Like, when you're seeing things. Hallucinations. Like, what were they?
Right. So
and can you like circle back and talk about the like, you know
right.
What I mean?
Good question.
How do you know what's real and what's not?
Well, that's what's scary. So I can say that the only time I've had so when you stay up for days, you get into like this weird fugue state between like dream and reality.
Right.
So you can't tell what's real and what's not. But I'm not sure about the full blown hallucinations like that. Like when I was in that fugue state, I remember specifically one of my hallucinations because I was in and out, like I said, and my belief was that my friends were outside. I was living at Sheila's. My belief was that my friends were outside. Have you heard this? Mm-mm. Okay. My belief, it's not a great story. I just didn't want to.
I would like to know, like, again, that's why I asked.
Yeah, so mine was that my friends were outside and they were waiting for me. Uh-huh. So my stepdad had an RV, a camper, and it was out front, and my friends were in that camper. I knew it for sure. Right. They were calling me like, come on, we're going wherever we were going, right? So I like go outside and like it's raining outside. And when I
just can't
you were holding that in?
No, I just can't believe there's still stories that I don't know.
Yeah. So I mean, basically that's and I ran outside and like I guess I don't know if I was I don't know why, but it was like 6 a.m. I'd been up for a couple days, but my mom ran outside to like get me.
Yeah.
And was like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "So and so and so and so are here," and she's like, "No, like." You know, I don't really remember. I remember that.
So it kind of feels like you're woke, like when your mom comes out, it's like you woke up from like a dream, like a sleepwalking type shit. Almost.
I kind of, but it's not even as abrupt as like, oh, that was that. It was like what
cloudy.
the fuck? Yeah, because it's like now I'm snapped back into what reality, but I'm also in reality. Like the RV's there. I know I'm at my house. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's not like I'm in this dream world.
Your mind is literally playing tricks on
That's what's so tough. Yeah. Now, and so like I said, I can't speak for any like when I went through my mental breakthrough or breakdown or whatever. I didn't see any hallucinations, but it was just like no throttle, reckless abandon, and then like it depends on what. So for me, it was a lot of like hyper focus on thoughts or like obsessive compulsive thoughts. Like this is all bullshit.
Right.
Everything's fake. Everyone's interactions are fake. This is all bullshit. I can fucking do. You know, it's like a God complex almost. Mm-hmm. So for me, that's kind of what it was like.
When are you coming back?
I think soon.
Nah, that's crazy. Were you hallucinating when you bought that new car that you got? Did you think that it was like bigger and cooler looking?
Well, no. See, here's the thing, dude. I know. No.
It's not even like, I don't want to put what kind of car you are because you're weird, but it's not even like the Jeep you could put rubber duckies on, right? It's like they don't even accept you.
Like, no, and thank God, fuck those duckies. But I basically just waited until the very last minute, like when my rental agreement was up, went to the dealership, like I need to get a car today. And I went to 3 different dealerships and they didn't have shit for SUVs and they called this one. And it was a good deal. It was like it's a 2016 with 21,000 miles on it. So that's like, it was just a good deal.
As you get older, you stop caring about shit like that.
Yeah.
This is when I saw it. I just couldn't help but like.
Of course. Of course. Yeah. Of course. And I'm going to try to toughen it up by putting bigger tires on it, like a ladder rack and shit and all this. But it's not like, it's just, they had a Grand Cherokee.
It's like if RuPaul just like, oh, I'm going to lift weights now.
Yeah. Well, look, hey, at least you're lifting weights. It's good for you.
Sure.
They had the Grand Cherokee, which is much tougher. Every time I see one, I go, oh, should have got that.
Yeah.
Oh, well, look what I should have got.
They look great.
Yeah.
They look great.
This is like the less than grand Cherokee.
Yeah, but it probably costs like, what, 10 grand less?
Well, look, I could have got a Grand Cherokee for the same price with 99,000 miles on it. Oh. Or like 90,000. 90,000 versus 21.
Yeah, no.
I'm like, okay.
Nah.
I'll look at.
I get it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I figured. And they'll probably get something new next year.
Yeah, why? Because I'll wreck this one?
Yeah.
Nah.
What happened to your other one? It just took a shit?
No, I got smacked into at the red light.
Oh. Was it your fault or their fault?
I was sitting still. It was their fault.
Okay. So you just rode that shit? You just do no research? You just kind of rode it out, and then the last day you're like, I guess I'll go pick something up.
That's it. I had a rental car for a month. Didn't look into it at all.
I was listening to this podcast about like learning lessons, like how people learn lessons, and this woman was talking about how her lessons are. She acts like they're abrupt, but they are kind of like every time something happens, there's a bunch of like it just gets lead into it, like something you're not supposed to be doing. You just keep itching, and you kind of put it off, and then when something abrupt happens, you. At first,
you're like, what the fuck is all
where'd
this
come
nowhere?
from? But it's really like the
right
writing's been on the wall, and you know it, but you just ain't budged, and you're just stubborn. And I do it tomorrow type shit.
Yeah,
I was like, that's kind of the kind of lessons I am too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm a procrastinator, so I've heard, and you've probably heard me say it before. I know the 5 people listening have, but they say procrastination is an emotion management issue, not a time management issue, because the theory is like you don't want to feel that uncomfortability of whatever the thing is.
Isn't that weird?
It's so strange because no matter how small or big it is, it's just uncomfortability, right? It's like the anxiety of making a phone call or whatever the thing is. It could be super small, but that feeling is easier to put off. And it's not like, oh, I don't have the time. It's like, well, you could. Right. So it's just when I heard that, it was a good framing for me because I'm like, oh, let me stop being a pussy. Right. I mean, I haven't been able to, obviously. Right. But it's like...
This is a common thing to everyone, but that is a good way to put it.
Yeah, I thought so too. Because it sounds better. It's like when I heard it, I'm like, that feels right. Unfortunately, like I want to be like,
you want to go home and do some shit that I've been putting off. You know,
that's what I'm saying.
Because it literally will take me 10 seconds. To
that's how you know it's not time management too. When you look at it actually objectively, you go, this is good. This will take the dishes are going to take me less than 10 minutes. And I'm putting that shit off for hours. Yeah. And then you're almost like suffering by putting it off, you know? Because it's like now there's this open tab of this thing I know I should be doing.
And it's like bullshit game in your brain now because you're like, I kind of deserve to sit on this couch show. You know what I mean? So you're like justifying you chilling, but really, and you're like, your real you is like, just go get up and get shit done. Yeah. Because then you're going to bitch when you can't afford to get shit done. Like, I need to get this. Right. It's a war.
It's a war constantly. And there's such a fine line between like, knowing you deserve a rest day and then like just get powering through. Right. There's a really fine line between like, well, every time you don't feel perfect, you can't just lay on the couch.
Exactly.
But also it's like, has it been a while? Like, do you need to, or do you actually need to? It's a real fine line for me. And then the self-critic, I have issues with like the self-critic. Sometimes like I'll get into this trap where I think that the self-critic in me, you know, everyone has a self-critic. I'll tell myself that's the only way to motivate myself, right? I won't want to get rid of my self-critic because I'm like, that's what keeps me motivated. And then someone I heard on a podcast that was just like, you'd be surprised at how motivated you can be without being mean to yourself. Like, you don't actually need to be like in the mirror like you're a faggot. Do something, you know?
Right.
Haven't tried it.
I've struggled with that too, especially like the last year or so. I'm like super hard on myself. And it's weird when you talk to people because like everyone has their issues, but outside looking in, everyone has like this act that they're putting on. You know what I mean? Because you just got to go through the day. You got to get up. You got to work. You got to smile. Yeah. You got to, what's going on? This is going on. You know what I mean? It's just like, but in your brain, you're just like, I should be doing this. Reading is like, you think that like you're the only person going through that. Going through something, reading? And you read a book and you just like feel the exact way this author is feeling, and he's like, "I've been there. Like, you'll be fine." And it's just like, and like even like watching a video or YouTube or something like that. But anytime you like feel like you're going through this thing and it's just you and no one else can relate, and you're like, no, I've been through that. Like, you're being hard on yourself. It's gonna be okay, and if it's not gonna be okay, then that's tomorrow you problem. Like you just gotta keep going. Yeah,
there's like this validation when you're going through something, especially if you can't like really put the words to it, and someone else does it better than you. Yeah, and you're like, damn, that's what I've been trying to say. You know, or that's what I've been feeling all this time. It's like, it's nice to see somebody talk about what's up with it. You know, you read any good books lately or no? You gave up on reading?
I'm reading. It's called Unlearn. I've had it for a while, but I just kind of like skim through. But I'm not actually like reading chapter to chapter.
It's a picture book, huh? It's a picture book.
No, it's basically unlearn
habits,
thoughts that lead to a better life, and it's basically like shit that's ingrained in you through our culture. You shouldn't hold on to some of that shit. You need to let go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and we have no like. It's incredible how much is ingrained in there that we don't realize is ingrained in there. Right. Because we grew up in it, right? It's ingrained. It's like, all right, well, just remove yourself, put you on this part of the world. You have a whole different view about whatever. Yep. It's that simple. And then you'll just be thinking that's this shit. It would be weird to be here.
Even like they're breaking down like you talking about self-criticism and anxiety and stuff like that. It's like that's a luxury. Like even being able to sit and have time to think to yourself without you getting bombed or you worried about where your dinner's going to be or
For
like
sure.
even you having that is a luxury. You know? It's being able to sit and think.
Yeah, depression used to just be starving to death or getting
Yeah,
eaten by an animal.
exactly.
Like, that was depressed.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You don't have time to think. Or even the whole, honestly, what's the meaning of life? So you don't really you didn't have time to think about it. I don't think it was survival.
Back in the day, it was
survival mode.
And and even back in the day, like you said, as culture changes, more people start to bring that up. But before, it was like there wasn't even a time for it. Everyone was kind of just doing this thing. You're supposed to be this guy. You're supposed to work. You're supposed to go home. It's like society was built that way. I feel like that's why shit is getting so shaken up now. There's just a lot of some of the information we're talking about is good, but some of the shit online. People are struggling. I'm not saying like I'm this high guy and I've never been tricked or bamboozled by anything on the internet, but I actively see people struggle to thin out the bullshit. You know what I mean? Like get to the bottom because like it's it's like it's just the world we live in. People are rather have affirmation are searching for affirmation, not information. They're looking for shit like that they already think in their mind and will validate their ideas.
They're searching for affirmation, not information.
Yeah,
it's true.
Yeah.
They want to have some. Yes, they want their shit affirmed.
They want their shit affirmed,
and it's confirmation bias, right? It's easier to see that stuff, and you don't have to take any leaps. It's like,
and you see it so much, and like, and it literally has caused worlds like our economy to burn, and like when you think about even what January 6th was, that was everyone living in.
What happened January 6th? I'm just kidding. 6th. It's a holiday.
But if you think about it, like. I'm bipartisan. I'm not even trying to pick a side. People live in these echo chambers. People live in these echo chambers, so they couldn't fathom that their side didn't win. It was just so crazy for them to think that they lost. That election fraud and all these things are like justified. It's like there's no way we lost. It's just us. Like everyone I talked to was voting for Trump. Yeah. So how did he lose? It's like, well, there's a whole other world of people living in their whole other echo chamber that aren't thinking the way you did. So I think that's how these things happen and how people are like, oh, you're an idiot if you think this way. It's like
the echo chambers are weird too. The book I'm reading is called The Coddling of the American Mind. I've also been on it for a while. It's like it just talks about how we reinforce that the group think is tough too, because like when you're in that echo chamber and so all the people are thinking the same shit, to even talk to somebody of the other group, it's like, well, they're just wrong.
Yeah.
It's like there's not even a point in even communicating with them, you know?
Because, again, this is a conversation I had. Every election is the most important election for some reason or another, you know? Even when we're talking, the meme I sent you today of, like, it's this guy...
the fact that it's going to... The presidential...
Former president.
The president will be decided over memes.
Yeah,
that's the time we're
whoever
in.
has a better bar,
whoever has the better like social media memes is literally going to be the president. Mm-hmm. That's a crazy state to be in, dude. It's like that's the truth. That's what most people are going to see. I seen the memes. I didn't see what I didn't see. Any debates? No, I'm not going to watch any debates.
Yeah.
You know what I saw? The memes. Like I'm not going to vote, obviously, but
yeah, you know, it's starting to get to the like. I heard Charlamagne say this year it's either going to be the left, the right, or the couch, and it looks like the couch is winning. And it's like a lot of people are just not even playing the game anymore.
I know, but that's scary too. So
because at what point does everyone stop playing?
And then we're just literally do what they want. Exactly. That's the thing. It's like, am I the sheep being led to the slaughter by not speaking up?
But it's almost like you're still playing the game when you're doing the lesser two evils and you're not voting for what you believe in.
You are, but it's a game that you have to play type shit. That would be the argument, right? It's like you are playing the game, but what are your options?
You just have to pray and hope for another day. I guess you're right. Because you don't want to give up that liberty.
I'm not saying that's my point.
I know, but you make a good point. It's like, and I've also used that point. It's like, all right, well, if nothing matters and these votes, everything is fake, and we all take that stance and stop, then who's picking? Is that better? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, then it just becomes apparent that we never were.
Yeah, true.
Like, to me, I don't think, I don't know. I guess I'm just a Debbie Downer, too, but I'm like, nothing's going to change ever.
Yeah. But that's why when I sent you that, like, that shit makes this, the vitriol of this shit worse, and this, like...
Send me what? That video of that guy shitting his balls out of his asshole? His own balls?
I didn't see any of that.
You didn't see that?
No, I did watch the video. The woman
you.
that beat her mom up for heroin.
Did you watch it?
Yeah.
I love that. Dude, by the way, that was the most minimizing shit in the world. Beat her mom up. Bro. Hold on.
Yeah,
tell Mike what beat her mom up means.
She took a hammer to her mom's head like 15 times.
18.
Oh,
18
shit.
times.
And killed her.
So killed her.
And then tried to choke her out, but she was too slippery.
She was too slippery.
From the blood. Bro, beat her
But she
mom
wanted
up.
to duct tape her
That was
mom's-
the most. You just reduced that
Yeah.
so much.
I did.
That girl who beat
But
her
look,
mom up. Dude, she murdered her mom while her son was in the house. The woman's son, the girl's son. She was like 18. Her asked her mom to borrow the car so she could go buy heroin. She didn't say the last part, but her mom knew. So her mom says no. She like grabs a hammer, hops on the counter,
and hits her mom in the head.
while she's sitting on a chair smoking a cigarette. And then dude, it's so sad.
And her mom's like, "What the fuck?" And tries to get away, and she just starts hitting her. And then her mom's eventually like, "You can take the car."
Yeah, that's the saddest part.
That's the saddest part. I almost turned it off.
Brother.
Dude, fuck y'all got me watching, bro. I almost turned that shit off. I was about to cry.
When she said her mom, because the girl's talking about it to the detective very matter of factly.
Yeah.
I grabbed the hammer. That was chilling too. How just matter of I tried to choke her after that and to kill her, like to choke her to death, but she was too slippery from the blood, and she was just
gargling
like she was gargling. I didn't want my son to hear.
Yeah.
It was so crazy. But her mom, after she gets hit many times with the hammer, says, "I'm sorry. You can take the car." Obviously, right?
Yeah.
But this is not about the car.
Right.
No, that doesn't happen over the car.
No.
You don't get hit in the head 18 times with a hammer over the car. This wasn't even about the heroin. In my opinion, this person snapped, right?
Yeah, she snapped.
And now, obviously...
It was about the heroin, but not because she wanted the heroin.
That was the catalyst. It's like when someone, they say...
The brain is doing...
This person got stabbed and killed over a chicken sandwich at Popeyes.
Right.
No. That may have been the catalyst that started this fucking thing, right? But there's not... That's...
No.
Come on.
Nah.
And so...
That's why I'm a firm believer in... No, there's no such thing as an overreaction because you don't know what that fucking person's doing. Like overreaction is subjective.
Definitely.
If I am talking shit to you in traffic and you get out of your car and you fucking shatter my windshield, from my stand, it's an overreaction. But if he's on the phone with his wife, he's about to get a divorce with, and she's telling him she's taking the kids, meanwhile he just didn't get the raise he wanted at work, blah blah blah, and then I'm this guy that's next to him flicking him off. I'm the catalyst for him to snap. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, I just leave people the fuck alone at the end of the day. But yeah,
if your kid wants heroin and the car,
Shorty,
give them the car.
But Shorty, like that was the drugs. You know what I mean? It was just like she was getting
Sheila
sick.
got off kind of easy. I'm just saying.
Word. She was getting sick, and then she still was like, yeah, and like she started crying. And at first, I'm like, oh, she snapped. But then she's like, yeah. Then I took her ATM card. I went to the ATM.
Went and got a brick of hair on.
Yeah, went and got a brick of hair on. Never shot it before. So I called my friend.
Oh, that was crazy too. She was sniffing heroin.
Yeah.
She killed her mom with a hammer over sniffing heroin. She didn't even shoot it yet. And sniffing heroin and shooting heroin may as well be different drugs.
Right.
They're a whole different thing.
Yes. So she calls her friend.
By the way,
for like she's like, well, I had my son. Like she tried to make it seem like, well, I took my son with me.
He was playing.
He was playing his video game.
She tried to downplay the
for
fact
3
that
days
she was
straight
with her son. You know, her young child. How good must that friend feel? The one who first shot her up right after she had killed her mom. Like they probably didn't know she killed her mom, right? But like,
because the money, you got a brick of heroin.
Yeah, that's all.
And you want me to show you how to
say less?
Right.
The thing that's so sad about heroin, I think I've talked about it before, it's just like every single person who is shooting heroin probably didn't shoot it themselves the first time. That's so sad.
Immediately popped in my head when you said that.
That's so sad, bro, because then it's just like perpetuated through others. Misery loves company.
Because someone probably showed Shorty that came over to help the girl. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Damn. But yeah, she's
fucking world.
3 days of just getting high. And she ran out of money.
Did you watch the one?
And then she tried to rob a bank. The only reason she got caught.
That dumb bitch. This stupid dumb bitch, dude.
It's not, again, like at first she's like crying, and then you hear the rest of the story. It's like, there was no sympathy.
Bro, no sympathy. She goes back home after her drug bender to her mom's house. She killed her mom on New Year's Eve. So she goes back after the drug bender, cleans up the whole house, takes the Christmas decorations down so the neighbors don't think anything went on. Like, she's very aware that she had done something wrong. Right. She took the Christmas tree down, bro. Imagine her in there taking down the Christmas decorations knowing her dead mom's in that bathroom.
So what got her caught?
She went and tried to rob a fucking bank.
She needed more money, so she tried to rob a bank.
By herself?
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, she had to. Dude, she didn't have a team.
You think about robbing a person first?
Right.
Them things,
baby steps.
Drugs,
you gotta walk before you can.
Drugs had a hold of her.
Do a couple practice robberies.
And you know the robbery was so shit.
Oh my god, it was a note. You know it.
I mean, she started sniffing heroin before she did baby steps with that. You don't. Come on. Anyway. I'm sorry.
No one just starts shooting it. I mean, I guess some people do.
I don't think so.
Maybe. I mean, ever.
I don't fucking know.
Yeah. I mean, I think you'd probably die if you didn't have some type of opioid addiction.
Isn't that what happened when a lot of times with overdoses, people relapse and then they try to do what they could do before?
Yes. Or, that. So let me just say about that exact phrase, because people do phrase it that way. And I just want to say that if you were doing two, in Baltimore, there's dope caps. Other places have balloons and bundles and this, that, and the other. In Baltimore, there's caps or pills. That's what they're called. They make up them. But anyways, if you're doing 2 pills to get right, which we call getting well, not even getting high, to get well, back when you were getting high, and then you're clean for a while, they say if you try to do what you used to do, you'll die. If you're doing 2 pills a day and then are clean for a while and try 1, you're going to die.
What?
Dude, it's not even like you have to build that up. So that's the thing. People will think I'm not going to do what I used to do. I'll just do 1. It's like, you're doing this strong. You're in Baltimore. It's like, this is it. This is it. It's it's heavy. And now the fentanyl's there, which I didn't even get to deal with. I say get to.
Missed out on it. Damn, I missed out
poor guy. It's still out there.
Mike's like, don't give up, brother. It's right down the street. I didn't even have to deal with that.
You sound like old black men when they talk about interracial dating. I didn't even get to do that.
And then you're like, they're still out there right down the street.
Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't know that, but I guess your tolerance was so high, even half of what your old shit was is still lethal.
To a sober body with no opiates, you're dead. I think that's probably how I kill myself. I mean, when I'm old, 82.
You just try to jump back in it,
dude. Imagine going try to cop.
Oh yeah, you're a cop for sure.
Yeah, just trying to go buy heroin as a fucking 80-year-old man. They got the suicide capsules in Switzerland. They were approved for use.
No.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
What do you mean no?
Can anybody get them, or is it you have lethal?
Mike, look it up. No,
yeah.
I don't know.
It has to be
they were approved in 2021.
It has to be some under a certain situation.
Absolutely.
You can't just have a bad day.
No, I think you have to meet a team of people, like a psychologist, of this, or that, or that, or that. You have to meet a certain amount of people and meet a criteria.
I can't believe it. I have to know. I feel like it has to be related to terminal illness,
and it may be,
or quality of life type shit.
Yeah, and it may be. I don't know the details. I just know for sure they were approved. They
haven't
been widely in use yet.
That's the only way for me.
Suicide capsules
would make suicide that type of assisted death.
Suicide,
okay.
Assisted, yeah.
No, I don't want to call it that because you won't get your sponsors.
Oh right, yeah. Which, by the way, we're sponsored by Zen this week.
Yeah. I feel like that's the only way.
Give it to your children.
Assisted death is moral. I can, in my opinion.
Right.
Because anything else is I feel feelings are temporary. But if you're gonna die, or your quality of life is being affected, you're gonna be on this machine, or you're gonna have to take a fucking million pills, and then you're still gonna see if maybe if you could pick that way. Even then, it's you have kids. How old are you?
Or you have persistent genital arousal syndrome. PGAS, where you can't stop coming. You never heard of this?
Nope.
So it actually usually ends in suicide because it's miserable. It sounds lit, right? It sounds great, but as they say, it's painful.
How?
How what?
Is it painful?
Because it's your body's done, has no more cum, but it's still orgasming nonstop.
Wow.
Nonstop, to where you're I just wish this would end, and there's no way to stop it. I think. PGAS. Look it up, kids.
You know some weird shit, man.
Thank you.
You know some weird shit.
You ever play pickleball?
No, but I'm fucking sick and tired of Andrew Schultz talking about it.
Oh, does he talk about it a lot?
All the time.
Because he loves it?
Oh, that's his thing. That's his hone in project.
Oh, wait, that's right. Doesn't he? He's doing something with business with it. He's selling the rackets.
I don't know if he's selling rackets, but I know he's got a trainer. He plays there every time he goes. I pay for his Patreon, and this is the only time I got mad. I'm I'm not paying for you guys to talk about pickleball for 40 fucking minutes.
Yeah. Damn, I don't pay for any Patreons. That's kind of fucked up with me. Do you pay for a few?
Just one.
Just his?
That's the only one I can justify.
We actually have one here.
It's $5. You get an episode every Friday.
For $3 a month, you can watch me and Mike have sex once a month on camera. That's our Patreon. Let us know.
Yeah, that's the only one I
sound off in the comments.
I can justify paying for. The other one I'm thinking about is I just don't like how they do tiers. Like in Schultz's is $5. You just get extra episode a week.
Right.
Cool with that.
Every week.
That's not consistently.
Bad. Now, how does the episode on their Patreon differ from the public one?
It's unfiltered.
More you can tell.
We're on Patreon. Like, you know what I mean? They say like, oh, we're on Patreon. Let that shit go.
Okay.
Type shit.
Yeah, and people are paying to hear.
Yeah.
So it's like, people are more. They'll talk about more personal shit.
And sometimes like the weekday episodes will be guest based and like. Damn, I don't want to, like, sometimes you want to hear the boys' bullshit.
Right,
you don't want to hear the guests. So then that Friday episode is usually just them.
Right. And they can get into their personal shit.
Yeah,
I'll talk about the trans on the Patreon.
Yeah. There you go.
That's for the Patreon.
There you go.
I want to play it. I want to try it. I just need to do something. Remember what were you saying before the podcast? You're thinking about something you can do?
Yes.
What do you mean? And what are you feeling?
I was talking to someone at even like talking to someone at work about like when I was doing jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai, like that was fun, but it's kind of expensive hobby to have. And I already work. How much do I want to do to my body? Like I already work a blue collar job. I'm already on my feet, running around, climbing ladders.
It's easy to forget that because it's work. So you don't feel like, oh, this is exercise, right? You don't feel like it, but it is. Right. I mean, your body now. No, of course.
410s by that Thursday night, I'm pretty tired, so I can't stay up. But so I'm like, all right, that was cool, but maybe I like dial that back, find something new. I'm like thinking like, what is a hobby I could do to like, break the monotony of what I do. Yeah, just hang out with my boys. Yeah. Which is cool too.
No, right, of course. It's not like you're anti hanging out with the bros. It's just like a hobby. It would be nice.
So I'm trying to find another one.
As opposed to hanging out with the bros?
Or like jiu-jitsu or like, I don't even count the gym. I think gym is more like something that's in my schedule that I need to do because that's just a part of like, I feel like it's like getting gas. You know what I mean? It's just something you have to do at my age.
Bro, yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't even consider it a hobby.
Like when I'm on a dating app, I don't want to, everyone who talks about the gym just sounds shallow to me, in a bio or whatever. But so I don't, but I do feel, because I'm not a gym guy, right? I'm not like this gym guy. I don't like that. Yeah, I know. And I like that about you. Yeah. You go to the gym consistently, you don't talk about the shit. Yeah. But the thing is, it's like once you get to a certain age, if you don't go, you're just going to fall apart. There's no other way about it. And then, I hate to say it, but God hates women more than men. Mm-hmm. So if you're 35 and a woman and you're not going to the gym, you're gonna just start falling apart. Yep. I mean, look, that sounds fucked up. But,
no, it's true. Like and then, men and women, you see it. You see like people just let themselves go, and then they try to get back in. Whoops, damn. They try to get back into it, and they fall off again. It's like you just make it like again
a priority.
Just make it part of your day. I don't even think about it. It's just like I'm almost in an autopilot when I leave work. It's like
someone helped me with that. With this, they said like, okay, so if you get off work at 3:30, right, and you should be, you want to, not should. I don't like should or shouldn'ts, but you want to go to the gym multiple days a week or 4 days a week or whatever. It's like in your head, you don't get off work till 5:30, right? Because it's just part of your day. It's not like I get off at this and then I can slide something. You know what I mean? You make it to where it's like you even tell people, right? If you have side work or something, it's like I don't have free time until 5:30. Because I'll often just be like, oh, I'm trying to. I get there right away, because I want more time. But it's like no, my time really starts after I have worked.
Sometimes you feel guilty because you're like putting off something. Like, hey, I can't be here till this, or I won't be able to do this till this time. But you have to prioritize it, or it breaks the cycle, and then you're trying to get back in, and getting back in.
Yes, I had a side job one time, and was like I couldn't come the day that the person wanted me to. Not that it was already scheduled. It was just like they asked me to come that day, and I'm like I can't today. I'm booked. and I was at the gym and they see me at the gym and they were like, "What's up?" And I'm like, "What's up?" You know what I mean? They acted like because I was at the gym, I could have went and looked at their shit. I'm like, this was part. What do you know what I mean? This is part of the routine maintenance. I need to do this so I don't walk into a school with an AR-15. Hypothetically speaking,
you're never getting any sponsorship deals.
I mean, Zen, like I said, Zen's sponsoring this episode.
They're gonna send you a cease and desist.
Who's Zen?
Yeah.
They just told me specifically show it and say give it to your children. That's all they told me to say. So look, I don't know how to make the rules. You know?
Yeah, but I agree. You gotta like do some. I like having like a set schedule, like a weekday plan. Like I'm hitting this. Like Monday, I'm gonna, even though it's kind of like holiday shit kind of fucks it up, but like. Monday, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna hit the grocery store.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna go to the grocery store. I'm gonna get all my shit that I need for the week, like grocery wise for the week. That way, it's in the house. That way, I can when I leave the gym any other day, I can come home, cook whatever. And I have like, I'm gonna cook this Monday. I'm gonna bring this to work on Tuesday. And the Tuesday night, I'm gonna cook this, and I'm gonna bring this to work Wednesday. Like I do, that's how I do my weeks, and it just makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, I bet because
And then I cook like during the weeks. I try to cook like the easiest meal, something I can just throw in the air fryer or like something I can just throw in the oven.
You plan it out for the week, like I need to get this and this because I'm gonna make this week. I mean, that's the best way.
And then during the week, like sometimes I'm like, oh shit, I forgot this, or like I'm looking, I'm like, I need something green, so I like go and get like a vegetable or something. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Are you on any type of diet?
Nope.
You just try to eat healthy.
I just read something that says tips to losing weight. Don't have a diet with a name. It's like just make whatever you're eating a part of your lifestyle. That way, if you do fall off a little bit, like there's no like set regimen. I think I think diets are good. Like if you're like, I want to look good for this vacation, or I got a wedding or something like that. But just like trying to diet through your life.
That's interesting. I know what you. I think what
lifestyle changes more than just diet.
Right, because you're putting this label on it that is something about a diet sounds temporary.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
It's not just the way I eat. This is my diet. I broke the diet, or I this. It's like you're right. That makes it like definite. And then once you break it, it's like, well, the diet's over. Right. But it's like, no, you're still you. You're still. I like that.
And like, look, I'm not the fucking.
No, you look like shit.
I look like shit. I'm not the skinniest guy in the fucking world, but. If you look at some of my people that are my age at 30-something years old, it's like, all right, I'm doing okay. Like, I look the fucking same. You know what I mean? Like, throughout the years, I pretty much look the same.
Which is work.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Which is work. That's the thing.
It's like, if you saw...
That's what people don't get. Yeah. That's what's a little frustrating, because you're like... Or not you, but for me, it's like, I would just be thinking, why don't I look like Najee? Why am I not 5 inches taller and black? You know what I mean? I've been working out for so long, but it's just to maintain what I even have. Right. I got a fast mentality. I'm the person who can't gain weight.
That's what I think diets are good. Like if you're like at that pace, you're like, I kind of want to look like Najee maybe for a summer or maybe for a couple weeks. Then you hit that diet and you like do different shit. And I think that's also what makes like the gym more fun, because then you start getting a little motivated, because you're like, all right, well, because I think they're both one and the same, right? You work out, sometimes you don't want to waste that workout by eating something shitty after. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you'll work out and you'll be like, all right, well, let me put something decent in my body.
It's a positive snowball effect.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of looking like you, do you think it's racist to do black body and keep the face white? Like for Halloween, like instead of black face, just do neck down black? Do you think that would be offensive?
No, because isn't like the thing that the whites are doing now is they're getting the black the blackout tattoos.
Oh, MGK's the whites.
There's more. I've seen like literal people at the people around here getting like this all black.
The black. Yeah. Have you seen that?
Yes, I'm not a fan.
No,
What?
I can like it.
Break it down, tattoo man.
Oh, dude, I hate. Dude, somebody listen. You know how much I love that.
Yeah, I know you do.
Dude, the other day,
shirt, you got that one shirt, tattoo and proud or something like that.
Oh yeah, that's all I own. Every shirt I have.
You got like $50. You should know everything.
Yeah. Well, also specifically about tattoos, because I have them. Right. I was in the hallway the other day at my work with earbuds in, and some guy I haven't spoken to before came up to me and was like, said something. I take my thing out, and he's like, "What's up?" I'm like, which, by the way, when I take my headphone out, that's your go-to. It's like, huh? You tell me, bro. What do you mean? You know? And he's like, "What's up?" I'm like, "What's up?" And he's like, "I just had a quick tattoo-related question." And in my head, I'm like, "Fuck." So I'm like, "What do you got?" And he's like, "I'm thinking about. I swear to God, I'm thinking about getting something this big, like behind my ear. I'm just curious, like how much would it cost, and like how bad is it?" I'm just thinking, like, bro, ask a shop. What?
Yeah. It's like you having a car and then people walking up to you be like, I'm actually about to get a car. And I was wondering, it's like,
it's like,
oh, you know what it is?
I just have a car,
You're
bro.
white, so you couldn't be in a gang. Like, so a tattoo artist, you have a face tattoo. It's the face, it has to be,
the
right?
face tattoo makes people,
That's
I can talk tattoos with that guy.
But
he
it just makes me
much.
have
no,
a
not
face
that.
tattoo.
He does tattoos. I'm gonna actually price one out.
Yeah, he did this one in the mirror.
Like
Right.
you priced it out with you? Like what the fuck? That's such a weird question, to ask
bro.
someone.
I mean, and look,
what do you think this would cost? Like, if you like,
I think he was just trying to connect, you know?
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it's not the craziest thing in the world because you do have.
It's not.
You might,
more of an idea than him. He hadn't have any tattoos,
Exactly.
so it's more of an idea than him. Also, the thing I hate getting is when I meet somebody new, sometimes I'll get like, so why'd you get the face tattoo? And I'm like, there's not some deep story.
Yeah,
there's just not.
People want, but it doesn't. That's people's brain.
And I'll even
because it's just like when we try to break down why the crazy people do crazy shit.
True, because it's something foreign to them. They're like, I would never do that. What would make you do that?
Right.
And to me, it was as simple as like, I wanted it there.
Right.
Why do you have the tribal armband on your arm? That's where you wanted it, right?
Right.
Why do you have the dream catcher between your tits? That's where you wanted it.
Right.
You know what I mean? I just wanted this one there.
Why you have the dandelion with the fucking shit color on your ankle?
There's just like 10 that like you see over and over again for men and women. You know.
Yeah.
It's been a while for me. You getting any more or what?
I want to, but there's just other shit I have to pay for. You know.
That's what's frustrating about being an adult. I got my sleeves when I was barely an adult. Like I had just gotten clean, so I was like,
I got all this money.
I got all this money and no dope to spend it on. You know, it was like, so I didn't have many responsibilities. Now it's like, if I don't buy a washer and dryer before I get another tattoo,
when you start spending money and you're like, I'm behind. Why am I doing this? Why am I on this plane right now?
Well, this one I'll defend because you're always behind. It's like you're never going to be.
You never have enough money. I tell that to people all the time.
Well, that's the thing. If you wait until you're caught up, you won't go on vacation until you're retired. Right. It's just like it's a never-ending list, right? Yeah. So it's like you have to balance that, though.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, it's just like you don't want to be super irresponsible, but you do have to be like, well, those bills will be there when I get back. You know what I mean? Yeah. Don't lose your house. You know what I mean?
There's a line.
There's a line.
It's about balance.
Don't lose your house.
You went on the Bachelor party recently. How was that?
Went on 2 and like within 1 month.
Damn. See, you got bread.
I don't.
But it's
they try to get me. So they try. That's why I was just thinking about like, and it's funny trying to tell people like I just can't swing it. Like, it doesn't make sense to me because so I went to Nashville.
Swing what?
So I went to Nashville for Luke's bachelor party, and then 2 weeks later I went to St. Pete's for Biederman's bachelor party.
Shout out Luke. Shout out Biederman.
I got some friends that are going this weekend to Nashville again, and they were like, "Hey, you should come." And I'm like, "Damn, I had so much fun in Nashville." And then I'm looking up prices, and when I paid for Nashville, it was like $300, a little over $300. Now, last minute tickets are like close to $600 just to get there. Then you got to pay for the house. Then you got to pay for the house, and then you got to pay for the weekend. It's like it's different when I knew this bachelor party's coming up.
Right, you have the hookers and blow. You got money allocated.
Exactly. Work a little overtime. You know what I mean?
Yes,
so
exactly.
Up for the week.
Set it up.
Same thing with St. Pete. It's like, all right, well, I know these are two related, so I'll just chill it. Like, it's different. But when last minute, I'm like, $1,500 just down the drain. It's like, do I want to live? Yes. But do I need to pay my mortgage to take care of shit?
Do I want to go get cowgirl?
Do I
pussy?
need an oil change? You know what I mean? It's like, all right, my car insurance due. Is my car note due? It's like,
and that's a frustrating thing too. Of like,
I'll do the next thing.
Yes. Well, what's frustrating is if it were another bachelor party, right? Right. Because then you're a bad guy for not going. Right. That's another thing. It's like when you have a lot of friends.
Then the reason they invited me is because it's like me, Melvin, this girl Nina. It's all of our birthdays around the same time. Melvin's just passed. Mine's just next Tuesday, and Nina's I think it's the weekend. That's why they're going for Nina's. And she's like, we should all just go. I'm like, yeah, that sounds dope. But
probably lit.
It'd be lit, but I'm like, first of all, I'm fucking 34. Sense. You know, I mean, I could bring my birthday in here, you know, and then do something in a month or so responsibly.
Yeah, I got you. So you're not saying that you're like.
I'm not saying that I'm too old. No.
Right. You're
I'm saying that like it's
financially. That's making.
It's not. I didn't plan on making my birthday a big deal. So like, if it's not this year, then it's not a big deal to me.
Right.
I don't need to go to Nashville. I'm still going to travel. Like I want to do a Ravens away game, even if it's Pittsburgh, you know, just to get out around everyone and like around the same environment type shit. Because it's harder, you know, when people have like our friends have kids now.
Dude, there's every party. There's just kids.
Yeah. Which I don't like. If it's like a get together, cookout party.
No,
like,
of course.
You know what I mean? I kind of like it. Like,
remember last time we were at the pool party, and I came up to you and I'm like, couldn't they have just like had the kids here on like a Wednesday? Like it's a Saturday.
Yeah.
No, the kids, they don't bother me. Obviously, I mean, it's not like.
Nah.
Yeah.
And would it like you just got to find your outlets?
I mean, their fingers are sticky and they're fucking annoying, but. It's not like they're actually bothering my time. In fact, sometimes they're more fun than the adults. You know what I mean? I go out and fuck with the kids. It's just like they're having fun.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that too. And like, again, balance. You know, sometimes you got to reconnect with like those type of friends and like, you know what you're getting when you go over there. You're going to chill, drink a few beers, watch a game, bullshit.
Right.
And then if you really want to get after it and.
Right. It's a different thing.
Yeah. You just go. Like, I just have like groups of friends for each kind of situation. Right. I do
Right.
You know,
you're not going there to see the twerking on tables.
I know when I go over there, I ain't gonna see no twerking on tables.
You got the friend group for that, though.
I have the friend group time where I go out. I'm like, what am I gonna see? And I got to be the one to reel it back in and be like, all right, I'm going home. You know,
right? You got, yeah.
Like yesterday, I got a call from fucking Barry at 6:00 on Monday. I'm like, I'm pulling up to my house, man.
Did you answer?
I did answer.
See, that's ball. If I see Barry call me at 6 on Monday, I'd be like, I can't even talk to him.
Yeah,
because I'm weak. and you know what I mean? Yeah. He would tell me what's going on. I'd be like, all right, bro, I'm coming out to see what's going on.
Nah, I'm better at just being like, hey, Barry, I'm not doing nothing.
Yeah, I haven't talked to Barry.
And he'll find something.
If y'all seen Barry calling me in general, I'd be like, what's happening?
It's funny how everyone's reaction when Barry calls. Like,
well, he doesn't do it often.
Yeah. So you're like, what did I do or what the fuck's he want?
What's going on?
Yeah. Because Barry's the type of person where you're like, he'll be like, hey, man, you want to go out and do so-and-so? And then next thing you know, it's like 5 a.m. And you're riding home from the casino, and you're like, I wanted to go home 3 hours ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like a friendly kidnapping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, man, just do this one thing, man. Just chill. He's got all these plans and shit you don't know about. That's my guy.
I seen Troy Ave got out of jail.
I didn't. Whoa.
Didn't even know he was in jail.
No, I knew he was in jail, but I'm very surprised you got this hip-hop news before me.
Well, I figured you knew.
I did not know this.
Okay. Well,
it's kind of a big deal.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, was he in for the tax stone shit? Oh, wow. Yeah. I didn't even put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah.
I just saw whatever that he got out. And my question was, you know, since you're black, well, actually, it's like a rich person thing. It's like his girlfriend gifted him.
With his money.
With money. So look, regardless, it's like when Offset and Cardi B and Offset would do it.
Yeah.
You know, birthday. It's like here's $100,000. What is that?
Yeah. No, it's nothing. Yeah. What does that mean?
I don't get that.
Because you don't know. What
you guys are,
and women have always been trash gift givers.
And they're millionaires.
Yeah.
It's just like I don't know what it changes. Does it?
It's just
it looks.
It's just gestures.
I think it's about the look, the photo thing.
Yeah.
Like I don't think that she didn't give Troy Ave that money. You know what his net worth? She couldn't have had just $1 million cash to give him.
Right.
It don't make any sense.
I don't know, man. I feel like a lot of this celebrity shit, because relationships are hard enough, and then just being in the public eye and like having to like everything being on Front Street, there has to be so much fakeness going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially when you're like that couple, you know, when you're Cardi B and Offset, so you're expected to be at this thing at this time.
Bro, we see fakeness on.
I know that's
locally.
What I'm saying.
Yeah,
I know, but I'm saying on that larger scale,
absolutely.
When your relationship likeness is getting you paid,
right?
Because you're having like marriage blogs or whatever the fuck. It's like sometimes that shit gets fake. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Just life in general.
Relationships are hard, bro.
They are. And
monogamy's hard.
It's weird because the older you get, the pickier you get, but the
dating pool gets smaller.
It's so much smaller.
Bro, there's like...
But you're like kind of like, damn, like I know what I don't want. I know what I want to put up with type shit. But you got to like learn to compromise on
yes, that's definitely a great point. I mean, there's like, yeah. And time always wins. Time always wins. We were just talking about the gym. Forget the gym. It's just time in general. Mm-hmm. People don't stay hot forever. It's just true, right? If we're just talking aesthetics, and it's like, then you get past aesthetics, and it's like, also, it's like when you do a little work on yourself, a little bit, you notice other people's neuroses because you know your own. Like, I'm crazy, right? So I can spot crazy so fast, and it's just everywhere. It's just, you know what I mean? Like, it's everywhere I look, I can see it, because it's like I'm taught to see it in myself.
But I think also, like, almost, I think when you get out of relationships, especially when you take a break for a while, you forget that, like, the person you met, the person you dated before, also wasn't perfect. You know what I mean? So you, like, when you date someone, you kind of, like, you guys mold each other, then you make this mesh.
For sure.
And then from there, I feel like that's where you see if it's going to last longer.
Yeah.
Sometimes the mesh doesn't work out, and you just realize like, all right, there's not enough for me to even stay in this to make a mesh.
Yeah.
But I feel like every relationship, there's, like, people, especially when there's people are single and have their own shit. They're like, this is how I am. I'm staying put. This is how I am staying put. And then you guys get together and you guys just kind of try to figure if you can make this mesh. And then I think from there is when the real shit starts.
Well, that works.
Now
way
you're
better.
starting to go through issues together and problems and
Yeah.
keeping the spark alive and all that shit. But I think initially is what's important is finding the mesh to, like, be one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's the most enticing thing about a relationship to me is, like, just being one with someone and then living life after that.
I don't love the metaphor of being one because of individuality,
I know.
But yes, becoming as a relationship.
Entity,
Yes. I do feel like, it's harder to budge, but it's also, it's like when you meet someone, not that you're pretending, but you don't go into when you first meet someone and you're like, you know, these are all the horrific things about me, right? I procrastinate. I don't hang my towel up sometimes. You just don't do that in the first time, you know? So you build up like a rapport to where you have flex, right? Because like you said, they're not perfect and you're not perfect.
Right.
But you don't leave with the imperfections, you know? But you have bought yourself some room.
You might talk about them.
Right.
But you're not, and you're only talking about the ones that
you feel comfortable talking about.
You know what I mean? Exactly. So yeah, I agree. It gets weird because sometimes you go on dates and you're just like, from the very beginning, like, this ain't it.
Yeah.
This can't work.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you go on dates and you're like, all right, this, like, I like her, I'll see her again.
Mm-hmm.
It's just.
Yeah. Well, the thing too is like this idea of like desire and attraction. It's hard for one person to be like your. Like a wonderful, like, maternal partner, like, that you want to raise a kid with and that you know is going to be a responsible, good partner, and then someone who, like, that you're wildly attracted to as well because there's, like, a mystery about it and there's this thing. It's like, it's hard to have all that in this one person, you know?
That's where compromise comes in, I guess.
Yeah.
You know? Or, again, like you said, everyone's growing and changes. So maybe this wildly attractive person that is this one way, as they get older and mature and find out about themselves, they change into this maternal thing or this mix of the two.
For sure.
You know, like when you said time is undefeated or time always wins, I'm also thinking about, like, even in some situations, like you get like something where, not all the time. Let me phrase this because this is important. Sometimes things don't change. Sometimes a guy will say, "This is what I want, and this is how it's gonna be," and his feelings will never change. But sometimes that time changes him. You know what I mean? It's like spending time with this person is like, all right, I started off this way. If, like, my foot is down, I'm not ready, I'm not doing this. But as time goes on, you start to, like, change a little bit.
Pussy breaks you down.
It does. It does. That and, like, seeing something in her,
no,
like, you know what I mean?
Understanding
you're starting
more.
to realize that she's your friend.
Yeah.
You know, and then you're like, oh, okay, I can kind of do this thing with it.
Well, yeah, and then again, you look out at it's rare to have.
Sometimes people can talk themselves out of relationships.
Oh yeah.
You know, or ultimatum themselves out of something.
Yeah, well, I the issue I have with compromise is, like, I know a relationship is compromise, but I'm obviously an extreme case because I'm stuck on autonomy. Like, my number one thing is to feel like I'm in control of my life. So to, like, I'll say, like, I'm not going to live my life in a way that makes you more comfortable.
Right.
But at the same time, if I'm doing something right and my actions are somehow hurtful to you,
like, you start being a little bit of selfish or, like,
yes, well, I think selfish gets a bad
blissfully
rap.
ignorant.
Yeah, well, not even ignorant because I'll know. I'll be knowing. But it's not that I don't give a fuck. It's just that, like, I am not responsible for how another person I'm in relationship with feels emotionally. At the end of the day, you
are kind of, don't you? Wouldn't you say?
Kind of. That's the thing. I think that it affects them.
You know
Either
what I mean?
I'm not responsible for them.
Because that's like saying like, okay, but this is, I'm about to say a point where I know this is like something that we also disagree on. Like, I remember you dating a girl and you're like, oh, we don't do.
Doubt it.
We don't do Christmas. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, well, we both decided that like Christmas isn't a thing and I don't need to buy her something. I'm like, well, she's only saying that to you because you're saying that to her, and she loves you enough to be like, okay. I was like, but if you got her a Christmas present, it would bring the biggest joy to her,
and also make her feel like she needs to reciprocate. And then it would be a whole thing. It would be a thing then,
right? Like, but that's just like doing nice things because you want to see someone smile.
Yeah, but you can do that whenever.
But you should do it. I
get Christmas gifts these days.
Okay, but I'm saying, like, the point is, I know that the whole thing's a game and it's all money line. I know all that. I know all these things, and I know you could talk to a girl and her tell you like, yeah, I get it too.
It's just the pressure and expectation. Neither one of us like.
But I just feel
or
like
I didn't like it.
I feel like again compromise. All right. I feel this way about Christmas, but let's just do one thing for each other.
Because Najee said.
No, just because, like, I want to make you happy. I want to make you smile. I want to surprise you. And I know this day you're going to be seeing shit on TV. You're going to be seeing shit when you're going down the street. Yep. It's going to bring you memories of getting gifts from your parents when you were little. Like, there's emotions attached to it, too.
Sure.
And I'm just saying, like, do something nice. It's not that hard.
I don't not do nice things. Like, that's a stretch to be like to do something.
I know, but sometimes when you come off like, oh, I'm not in control of your emotions. It's like, you kind of are. Like, you can make her day great or you can make her day completely horrible. But how you speak to her, how you treat her, if she doesn't feel the love from you that day.
Yes. I guess, yeah, well, I know that I'm not, like, treating anyone badly, right? Okay. So, yeah, I'm not, like, I'm going to be a dickhead to you and it's, like, fuck you and the horse you rode in on, now you should feel fine.
Right.
I get that, obviously, right? We're attached to each other. There's an attachment.
And I also agree. I also get, like, not making Christmas pretentious where you're going broke trying to
keep up with the Joneses. Yeah.
Keep up with the Joneses.
Yes. And again, you're talking about something from years ago.
Yes.
Yes. But obviously, at the end of the day, we're all responsible for our emotional regulation. Yes. Now, you can co-regulate, right, which is what most relationships do, healthy ones. Mm-hmm. You can self-regulate yourself, and you can co-regulate. And co-regulation is part of a healthy relationship. You're not meant to just self-regulate all the time, because that's an extreme form that I have been at in my life. I have been there in my life, Naj, where I'm like, it's on you.
Yeah.
If how you feel about it, how you feel about it. Someone can walk up, punch me in the face. How I feel about it is up to me. Like, I was there for a little bit in my life. I'm not there now. I understand that, like, who we're in relationship with and how those relationships are going will affect us. At the end of the day, we're responsible for us. You know what I mean?
Right.
And, yes, that person's responsible for them.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. It's we're almost making two separate arguments, two different
points. Or the same one.
Like, I get what you're saying.
And
because I've been in relationships where it's like, there's nothing I can say you look pretty or you look gorgeous, like, 100 times a day, but if you're insecure,
yes,
and you're not checking your insecurities or figuring out where this is coming from, there's nothing I could say. You're beautiful and you look great in that dress.
Great point. And I think that merges our points.
Yeah.
Because it like, again, if I'm being a cunt to the person and then I'm like, yeah, well, you should just be feeling fine because it's up to you.
Right.
That's different than, like, I know I'm treating you right and that something's coming up for you. Then that's between you and you. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I know that I know how I'm moving, and you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's like, yes, at the end of the day, we are responsible for how we feel about ourselves and about situations, but obviously you're going to be affected ultimately by someone who's...
You care about, you know?
Yes.
You care about you value their opinion.
Yes. Now, if it's coming from their self, like the capital S self, you know, it's different.
Right.
Then it's like if these parts come up. Because we all have these parts in us, right? Mm-hmm. Scared ones, protective ones, all these different parts. It's like, I'm on that IFS therapy shit still. The internal family system stuff where it's called parts work. But it's like we all have these parts in us. And it's just interesting, like, sometimes when I can hear someone talk to me, and I didn't used to know to call it this, and I'm not even saying this is what it is, but now the vocabulary for it is like, oh, like, or let me say for me. Sometimes I'll say something, and dude, it'll be like the slightest change in the world in my body. Like, you see my face right now? Mm-hmm. See it now? The eyebrows down, that little tiny change, bro, changes everything for me. And that's when a part of me has taken over. And that part of me is defensive.
Right.
And it's not like there's a separate personality. We're all just made up of these different parts. Our brain has done this. And it's like, when I do this, if I'm texting someone and talking to them on text and my eyebrows are normal, I'm reading things in a normal tone.
Right.
As soon as I go like this, your words, I'm reading your text fucked up now.
Yeah.
And that's a part of me, right? So when I can tell it's a part for someone coming up, I'm not really budging.
It's like that. It's like that. You ever seen that Key and Peele skit? Where they're texting each other, and like one
completely miscommunicating.
Everybody, through the text, like this guy, they're texting about meeting at the bar, and one guy thinks they're about to fight, and the other guy thinks they're about to get a beer. So one guy shows up with a bunch of weapons, the other guy's like, "What the fuck's going on?"
Yeah,
it's like I get what you're saying. Like,
yeah,
a lot of shit can be lost in like transaction.
Yeah, for sure. And then it's like how I'm receiving it might not be how it is, and that's why it's also like I like to say that when something does come up. Like, when I feel that eyebrows do that thing.
You want to warn them to back the fuck up now. No, I get what you're saying, but you want to confirm, like, is this what you're saying?
Not even confirm. I want to, not even that. I want to say, hey, just so you know, there's a part of me that's coming up right now that feels a little defensive. I'm not sure why. Like, and then we can break that down kind of, you know what I mean? Like, literally identify the part. Like, and it doesn't feel so, like, argumentative if you're bringing something up within yourself. You're not saying, hey, you're doing this thing to me. You're going, hey, I'm feeling this thing.
So that's like a level of self-awareness. And then, but the person you have to talk to has to also emotionally be pretty intelligent, because they're might think you're, if they're not, they're gonna think you're a sociopath.
And that's what
makes a psychopath.
And that's what makes dating hard too. Yeah. Is like I'm not expecting every woman that I date ever.
Or they're gonna think you're pretentious or like
right.
Oh, look at this guy.
Oh wow,
so in tune.
Yeah. Oh, boundaries and fucking. It's like, but yeah, when I talk to people who have done no work on themselves and need to, it's like it's apparent to me. And I don't need to go to therapy with you. We don't need to be meditating together. Right. But I can just tell when someone's like has severe untouched trauma.
And they got their foot in the ground, roots planted.
And don't even know it. Yeah.
Everything's good. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, this is who I am. This has worked for me my whole life.
Yeah.
Because that's another thing. Like, some people that are where you can see their faults and things that are making their life harder. They just think like things are hard because things are hard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that might be the case sometimes, but there's always I don't care who you are. There's something that is deep down that needs to be checked, or at the end of the day, yourself. These little things. Like, I have like a commitment issue. I have this thing where like I like to run. I
can't relate.
I like to get the fuck, I just like to get the fuck when things are getting like, I always pride myself in being independent, but when is independence too much? Like, when am I too okay with being alone?
Well, that's what
there's a fine balance.
There is. And that's where I said I got to that point before, when I was like, whatever's on you is on you, Mr. Independent. Like, if everyone dies, it doesn't matter. Yeah. Like that extreme, right? To where if everyone I love dies, I'm okay. Because I was like trying to help myself with the potential death of someone that was close to me. But it's like, there is a fine line in that, in like
letting people in.
Yeah.
Because the joy that potential hurt, because they might hurt you, but the joy in between might be worth it.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, you're not supposed to be this fully independent being. Like, you're supposed to be able to do that. Yes. And you're not supposed to
be dependent on,
exactly.
You know what I mean?
There's the thing about codependency. We are codependent as creatures. Yeah. We just are.
We love to see a smile. We love to hear a laugh.
And even just emotional regulation. Just one of the most underrated ways of like, it's not real therapy, obviously, and I hate when people say something's therapy when it's not, like ink therapy or gym therapy or whatever. But whatever works. But
I get what you're saying.
Being seen and heard about your story alone and not judged, like, people, that's huge. Mm-hmm. Some people hold on to shit thinking like subconsciously. But when people hold on to things, right? This is the thing about vulnerability. I find vulnerability very empowering. And vulnerability means weakness, where you can be harmed.
Yeah.
But like, how can you harm me with it? If I've been harmed with it already, and it's like,
they can. But that's where like emotional manipulation starts happening.
For sure, it
because
can
someone
happen.
If you're letting your guard down and you're being vulnerable with them, and then the first time you guys get in this argument or something happens, and they use that,
that's diabolical.
They know that,
right?
But shit be getting diabolical.
Yeah, people are diabolical.
You know what I mean? Or you might get diabolical when you're getting mad and you're saying things you don't mean. It's like, now I got this thing that I know hurts you.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Right.
So that's why the armor stays up sometimes.
Yeah.
Because you're like, I don't want to tell you because it's good now and like we're vibing.
Yeah.
But what happens when we have that bad week
Mm-hmm.
and you call out that thing I told you about that one night?
Yeah, that would be so painful for sure.
You know what I mean?
And then also it's like there's this like subconscious fear sometimes that we are not. It's gonna sound corny, but like that you're not worthy of love, right? Like if you say the thing, whatever the thing was that had happened to you, whatever the thing you got going on is, it's like you're worried that people will judge you because of it, and then like therefore you're not getting the same connection you were.
Right.
But it's like everyone has their shit.
Everyone has their shit, and you might as well just be upfront about it.
Or else someone will make an anonymous page and it'll be out anyway. You feel me?
I think that's why you got that fucking car.
Let everybody know what's going on.
Yeah. So
I don't have to talk about it.
No one has to guess. Yeah. Just like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Everyone knows. Yeah, it made sense already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One day on the Patreon.
On the Patreon. I'd like to get. I don't want to give anybody attention that they don't deserve. So I'm in my head about that too, because I'd like to speak about it. I'd like to talk about it. But we're dealing with instability.
Even if these cameras and everything is off.
Oh, I have with them off.
Okay.
Plenty. And I'd be willing to do that with you too. But yeah, I don't want to give anyone any attention they don't deserve, especially when we're dealing with instability, genuine instability.
Right.
So, Patreon.
Because my answer is usually, yeah, he's a wild motherfucker. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, motherfucker wild.
Yeah, it sounds like Justin's weird ass.
You know, people come to me. Like, what's going on? What's going on?
Every time something's going on with me, people call you.
People call me. People ask me what the
people too scared to call me.
And I'm just like, these wow. I'll be like, use that surprise. Like,
right.
You know, whatever.
Yeah. He fucked no farm animals.
I would like to talk to you just in general because there's a bigger conversation I think that I would like to have with you about that.
Yeah.
You know, but whenever you're ready.
Yeah. Well, let's shut the cameras off and do it now.
Let's do it.
All right. Thanks for coming. Appreciate you. We did it.
Oh, yeah.
It was probably a short one. Subscribe. Tell your neighbors. Do it for Sheila. Yeah. Try fentanyl. And remember, sponsored by Zen.
Yeah, get the Patreon.
If this doesn't work, I'll kill myself. Damn.